Draw an activity network for the precedence table below. Now the clue that we need dummies are here, where we can see that B is involved in two different relationships, and also here where D is involved in two different relationships. So the diagram is going to need two dummies at least. We should always try to get the least number of dummies that we can. Well, let's start at activity or event 0, sorry. And activity A doesn't depend on anything. So we can at least get started with A. B, C and D all come from A. And in the first instance I'll try just drawing B, C and D just radiating out like that, and sometimes you need to have them in a different order so that you don't get crossing overs. But that's what I was saying about just get the information down and then you can redraw the diagram. So let's say that this is event 2, this is event 3 when C finishes, and event 4 when D finishes. Now E just relies on B. The other thing with E is nothing else seems to rely on E. So E is going to just go out this way and is going to go directly to the end of the project. So I'm not quite sure what that will be, so I'll just leave it hanging there for a second. So that's E. F depends on B and C. So the dummy needs to go in this direction so that it shows both B and C going into here. So that's F, and F does have another dependence. So let's bring F out this way. Now D is involved both by itself and with F. If it had just had DF, I would have brought F directly down to meet D. But we have D and we have DF. So H comes out from D like so. G comes out from D and F. So I need to finish F over here and have a dummy coming up like this so that D and F finish here. And then G can come out of there, and G needs to meet H because we've got GH. And then event I, activity I must come out to the end, and that means that E meets up there because E, remember, we discussed before, went directly to the end. So I think we need to go back through that diagram and just make sure. Let's do just a bit of numbering here. So A starts at the beginning, that was easy enough. B, C and D come from A. E comes directly from B, and because it's not involved in anything else, must go to the end. F comes from B and C. Yes, that's the dummy showing that. G comes from D and F. I can see that with the dummy there. But H just from D. Yes, I can see that here. And then I comes from G and H and goes to the end. So that looks good.